What surprises me is that a lot of people think what we are learning today is something new. What we are seeing right now is actually part of a much larger plan, and you might be startled to hear that. This plan has been in the works since at least 2020, which is a watershed year in this context. I am pleased to have you join our community. Dear Nick, I would be truly grateful if you could subscribe by the end of March 2020 if this video is your first interaction with the channel. This month was crucial since it proved that automation is speeding up, something that the IMF stressed in 2020. Christina Georgieva will be joining us soon, and we need to look at the investing alternatives that exist to get through this crisis. Sustainable future. A major reset is possible with the help of improved digital transformation and the prioritization of social safety. Due to current events, many have failed to notice this insight, which came from the IMF in June 2020. But it's worth thinking about. On the flip side, rising debt levels and joblessness are inevitable consequences. Going back to where we started, there is a possibility of increased inequality and poverty. Considering the potential benefits that await us can help us lessen the impact of these dangers. It is worth mentioning that digital solutions have clearly won out in this situation. As the digital revolution grows as an opportunity on a global scale, we must ensure that no person or country is left behind. Secondly, we have the power to invest in a future that is low carbon and resilient to climate change by leveraging our resources. Thirdly, we need to deal with the request for Social Security. Our planet continues to thrive even in the face of catastrophes with a growth rate of 3%. There are more than $80 trillion in our GDP. Improving people's standard of living requires making sure they all get a fair cut of the profits made by expanding the economy. Much debate surrounds the need of moving forward without reversing course. We must decide between radical change and starting over. This era's promise of transformation is what makes it so interesting. The time frame at hand is January 2020, just before COVID-19 and its aftermath begin. The unique aspects of XRP that set it apart from stablecoins are outlined by our CEO, Brad Garlinghouse. In the end, every country will create its own CBDC. Therefore, this differentiation is vital. Within this architecture, XRP is well positioned to function as a connector. If you want to grasp the bigger picture, you need this background information. Many organizations are already minting stable coins that are pegged to the dollar or other assets. This allows traders to make instantaneous purchases without worrying about the price going up or down. Because of this, why use XRP instead of assets like USDC, which are built to keep prices stable right now? Coinbase and Circle have taken precautions to reduce danger, but we still need to figure out how to bridge the gap between the dollar and the base currency. At each stage of a transaction, Ripple aims to improve XRP's efficiency and liquidity, provide effective connectors, and an API to make connecting easier on both ends. Since the interconnection of many banks for its use will increase XRP's liquidity, the person with the most liquid money will emerge victorious in this situation. It is fine, I say, that people have different points of view. Recognizing this in 2020 was important. But it's even more so now as stablecoins make up 1% of the world's M2 money supply amount of money. With an unprecedented number of new stablecoins released in 2023, stablecoins look to be deployed daily. I find this trend quite interesting. It is not the right time to go back, according to the International Monetary Fund, which claims that digital currencies created by central banks can replace cash. The main idea I want to get over is that stablecoins are basically the same as CBDCs. The dynamic nature of stablecoins is something I hope everyone can grasp. In the future, governments will need to be ready to accept digital currencies issued by central banks and compatible payment systems, according to Chris Alina Jorga. We still haven't nailed it down, but there's a lot of room for creative thinking. It's hard to say what kinds of applications may crop up, though. Point out, I believe the number of countries who have officially agreed to follow the CDC's recommendations from the Atlantic Council has climbed from 11 to at least 12. There has been and will be more investigation on central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, by 90.8% of the world's central banks. These remarks and recent pronouncements from the IMF have sparked this debate. A major shift is taking place in the world economy, according to the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Many nations' long-standing economic systems are now experiencing a reset that will usher in a new age. This claim is supported by their remarks about the difficulties encountered in the workplace. There has been no change in leadership since the United States imposed a slew of tariffs, starting with those on Canada in late January. After China and Mexico imposed tariffs on a wide range of goods and services on April 2, the United States' effective tariff rate hit levels not seen since the Great Depression. The worldwide tariff rate was already high before major trading partners' responses made it even worse. The tariff conversations are making a comeback, so let's be honest about them. It is commonly known that trade wars and other major confrontations are essentially contests based on strategic maneuvering, with players using these events to further their own goals. Since the IMF was not the only organization calling for a major reset, 2020 was a good year to focus on this topic. Major organizations such as the World Bank are supporting the Great Reset, which is supported by the World Economic Forum. There has been a change towards digital money, the shift away from the US currency and toward digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, and trade disputes has picked up speed since they began. We also take into account Scott Bissett's recent claim that the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund have lasting worth, but that they have lost sight of their original mission due to mission creep. There must be major changes made to the Bretton Woods institutions so that they work for the benefit of all parties involved and not against them. As I showed in this video clip, he also made additional statements